Hello class, welcome back to your online classes. So in our previous class we have already discussed about the characteristics of bacteria. Today we will be discussing about the useful role of bacteria in three fields, that is medicine, agriculture and industry. Today we will be taking up with only medicine. Okay, how is bacteria useful in pharmaceutical industry or in a preparation of different kind of medicine, that we will be discussing today. So according to your syllabus, you just have to go through the useful role of bacteria. For your knowledge, you just go through the characteristics that we have discussed in our previous video, but according to your syllabus, you just have to jump into your this particular topic, that is useful role of bacteria. Okay, so bacteria are useful in preparation of antibiotics, serum and vaccine. First, let us understand what is antibiotics. Now, antibiotics are the chemical substances released by certain living organisms which inhibit the growth of pathogens, harmful bacteria, fungus or viruses. Okay, it inhibits the growth of certain pathogens. Okay, so the first antibiotic which was discovered was penicillin. It was an accidental discovery by Alexander Fleming. He had kept an experimental setup. In that particular experimental setup, because of certain contamination, Penicillium notatum, it's a fungus, was growth of it was observed on the plate where he had grown a certain bacteria. Okay, but because of the contamination of that bacterial growth plate by the this particular fungus Penicillium notatum, what happened was, in certain region the growth of bacteria was inhibited. Okay, so further he went on with this research, why is this in this particular zone there is no growth of bacteria. Then he got to know that because of the certain chemical being released by the Penicillin notatum, the growth of the bacteria was not observed in those particular region. Later on he named that chemical substance as penicillin, but this penicillin is a fungus derived chemical substance. So another one is your streptomycin. Streptomycin, it's also an antibiotic, and the bacterium which produces this particular antibiotic is your Streptomyces griseus. It's a name of the bacteria. So this particular antibiotic, that is streptomycin, helps in curing tuberculosis. Okay, similarly you have other antibiotics like tetracycline. Okay, so which are useful in inhibiting the growth of many harmful pathogens. Okay, now how should your antibiotics be? What are the good criteria of being an ideal antibiotic? So it should be broad spectrum, that means it should be able to inhibit the growth of wide variety of pathogens. Okay, it should not kill the useful bacteria that is usually present in the human body. It should not have any kind of side effects. So these are the good characteristics of a good antibiotic. Okay, so other uses of antibiotic other than curing diseases are it is used in animal feed also, and it is also used for controlling plant pathogen, and it is also used as a food preservative. Now next, moving on to serum. What is serum? Okay, and what is its use? So we all know the composition of blood. What is blood made up of? Blood is made up of blood, plasma and cellular components like your red blood cell, white blood cell, platelets. Okay, Now when you consider blood plasma, what does it consist of? It consists of different kind of proteins, antibodies, okay, and it also has one of the protein which helps in blood coagulation, that is known as fibrinogen. So if you remove fibrinogen from blood plasma, what will you get? You will get serum. Okay, so if you remove fibrinogen from blood plasma, fibrinogen is a protein which helps in blood clotting. So if you remove that from a blood plasma, you get a serum. Okay, now what is this serum? It consists of different kind of antibodies and some other proteins also. Okay, so what is the role of the serum? So serum, it helps in producing, and for example, if you have a snake bite, okay, in order to counter that snake bite, you are injected with antivenin injection. Okay, so how is that antivenin injection produced? What do? Is they previously used to inject a certain amount of snake poison venom into a horse. Okay, inject that, and what would happen, since it's a foreign agent that's entering the blood of a horse, so within a blood, antibodies against that venom used to be produced. Okay, and they used to do that repeatedly, and after a while they used to extract the blood out of the horse, and they would be extracting that antibodies which was able to counteract that particular venom. Okay, and those, they termed it as antivenin because it was working against the venom. So it was used for treating snake bite. But since because of the repeated injection of those venom, many side effects could be seen in animals, like they would go blind, they would be paralyzed. Because of that, many animal rights they filed a case against stopping those kind of experiment. Now here for rescue came the genetic engineering. In genetic engineering, what happens is, whatever the gene was coding that particular antibiotic, that was first identified, and then that gene was inserted into a bacterium called E. coli. Okay, now since bacteria, unicellular organism, they multiply very fast, they reproduce very fast, and later on the product from that gene was then extracted, then used as an antivenin. Okay, first this particular experiment was done for producing insulin. What is it? It's an hormone which controls the sugar level, right? In some other person where the insulin doesn't work, they suffer from a common disease called diabetes, so they have to be administered the insulin from outside. So insulin production was first through genetic engineering only, by introducing the gene which was responsible for producing insulin into the E. coli. Scientists were able to successfully produce insulin. Okay, nowadays they do it for producing this antivenin products too. Okay, so serum, I hope you understood what is serum, right? Serum, it's a when you remove the fibrinogen from a blood plasma, then you get a serum. Since I told you serum consists of many antibodies, so it is used in producing different kind of antivenin products. Okay, now bacteria are also used for production of vaccine. What are vaccine? Vaccine are a preparation which consists of weakened germs or dead germs. Okay, it is used for enhancing the acquired immunity within a body. So your vaccine, actually it consists of the pathogens only which is responsible for particular disease, but here that pathogen does not have a ability to induce disease, but it has a ability to go and provoke the production of antibodies within your body. Okay, so the pathogen either has been weakened or they have been killed. Okay, so it consists vaccine, they usually consist of that particular pathogen only which are capable enough of producing a disease within a human body, but they are either weakened or they are dead. Okay, we will be taking up the example of first the killed bacteria which is used for production of a vaccine named TAV, which is used for curing typhoid. Okay, typhoid, you know that it's a bacterial disease, Salmonella typhi. Okay, so here the Salmonella typhi is killed, okay, and then a solution is prepared and then it is administered. Okay, so in a very less amount, such that only the production of antibodies is initiated within your body. Okay, so that next time when that particular person encounters that particular disease, your body knows what to do with that particular germs, okay, and then you do not encounter that particular disease. At the initial stage only, it goes and kills that particular pathogens. Okay, next one, here they use the living form of bacteria, but the bacteria has been weakened. Okay, it does not have ability to produce disease. So example would be your BCG vaccine. We all get BCG vaccine, right? It is used for treating what? It is used for treating tuberculosis. Okay, so vaccine, it's actually a pathogen itself, but here the pathogen has either been weakened or been killed, so that it does not produce a disease within a human body, but is capable enough of inducing the production of antibodies, so that next time when that particular person encounters that particular disease, the body knows how to combat that particular pathogens. Okay, it is also used, bacteria is also used for production of toxoids. What are toxoids? Toxoids are the toxins which are produced by bacteria. Okay, so these toxins, what do they do? Just like vaccines, it's a vaccine, only there we had introduced whole pathogen itself, right? But here we are introducing only the toxin portion of that particular pathogen. Okay, only the substance which is harmful for our body. We will be extracting the toxins and then introducing just the toxin portion. Okay, so these toxins, what do they do? Just like vaccine, they will be enhancing our immunity by production of the antibodies within our body. Okay, just like bacteria or just like vaccine, toxoids are also able to produce antibodies, because of which our body is prepared to encounter, to combat that particular pathogen which might be causing a disease later on. Okay, so it is this kind of toxoids are used for curing disease such as diphtheria or tetanus. Okay, so today we have discussed the role of bacteria in medicinal field by discussing about how bacteria is useful in production of antibiotics, serum, vaccine and toxoids. In our next class, we will be discussing about the role of bacteria in agriculture field. We have learned in our junior classes, right? There are certain bacteria which are useful, which helps in nitrogen fixation, right? So we will be dealing in detail about nitrogen fixation in our next class. Thank you so much.